Now, how many of you are organ donors? I know you are very young, maybe a few hands over there. Now, she's going to talk about the impact and importance of organ donation. Please welcome Sanika.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I just want to thank TiE Hyderabad for inviting me to today's event. I'm really excited to be speaking to this audience about my story. Hi, I'm Sanika Bihani, and for the past year and a half, I've been passionately advocating for organ donation across India. I'm here today to share my story, the lessons I've learned, and the challenges I've overcome along the way. But before getting into all of that, just a little on why I started on this journey. So, my journey into advocating for organ donation was really influenced by my grandfather. I was very fond of him, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. He was always very passionate and really believed in organ donation and always wanted to donate his organs. But unfortunately, we were never able to fulfill this wish because he passed away due to COVID. My grandfather was an amazing person and I really loved him, so I wanted to do something to honor his memory, something that he would be proud of. And when I thought of what I could do for him, the best thing that I thought to do was raise awareness on organ donation, which is something that he was so passionate about. As I started my journey, I started reaching out to a lot of doctors and visited places like LV Prasad just to get an insight into the whole organ donation transplantation process and how it worked. And as I did all this research, I started realizing what a huge shortage of organs we have in our country. I started realizing the amount of superstitions and myths that surrounded the topic of organ donation. I started realizing how one person has the impact to save up to 8 lives by donating their organs. And most importantly, I realized how much of a need there was, especially in India, to be raising awareness about this cause. One of the things that shocked me the most was that India, being the country with the largest population in the world, has one of the lowest organ donation rates. And it's because of this that every single year, around 5 lakh people lose their lives just waiting for an organ. And just to put that into perspective, 5 lakh is the population of Iceland. So you can just imagine that many people are dying every single year just waiting for an organ. And looking at these statistics really motivated me to do something. And while I initially started this for my grandfather in honor of him, it had slowly become a passion of my own. Every single time I'm able to convince even one person to become an organ donor, it brings me so much satisfaction just knowing that I've enabled them to make an impact on so many lives. So I started my journey pretty small, just with friends and family in that small circle. And I would get onto calls with them and encourage them to be organ donors. And how this helped me is it gave me a safe space to start where I could learn, get feedback, and improve my content and presentations. After I gained some confidence just doing this with friends and family, I decided it was time to move to the next step and reach out to a larger audience. So to do this, I started reaching out and speaking at corporates. And while I experienced a lot of success over here and got people to sign up, the main issue was it wasn't very structured. Like, to get in touch with a corporate requires a lot of connections, and even then, sometimes I wouldn't be allowed to speak because organ donation is sometimes considered as a bit of a controversial topic. So this whole thing wasn't very structured, and that's when I realized I needed to move to something more where I could reach a larger audience and events that occurred more frequently. That's when I partnered up with 2 other organizations. The first one was Add-on-Mo. Add-on-Mo is a digital marketing company that used to host carnivals in a lot of apartment complexes. Add-on-Mo was gracious enough to give me a stage to speak over there, and through that I was able to influence thousands of people and educate them on organ donation and get a lot of signups. Another partnership that really helped me was my partnership with Rotary Club. So what I used to do here is they used to conduct blood donation drives at a lot of places, and I used to accompany them to those blood donation drives and advocate for organ donation. And why this helped so much was because when people show up there with the intent to donate their blood, they're usually more open to the idea of signing up for organ donation. So this really increased my sign-up rate. And suddenly, from influencing only like 100 people, my number had jumped to 10,000, and I was able to influence that many people. And with this scale, thank you. And with this scale, another important aspect came up, which was I was attending so many events that it was physically impossible for me to be at all these events at the same time. And that's when I realized that I needed a team. So I put out an application for volunteers and received an overwhelming number of responses. And within a couple of weeks, I had an army of people on the ground ready to raise awareness and get sign-ups for organ donation. So these volunteers helped me in everything, not just attending these events, but also creating content to post online for social media, or helping me think of ideas to expand. And as my signups increased and had comfortably moved into the triple digits, the organ shortage was still in lakhs, and I realized that something more had to be done. I wanted to expand my reach beyond just the events that my team and I were attending. And I realized that in Telangana, we're the only state that doesn't have the option to sign up as an organ donor on the driver's license application form. And I wanted to make a change about this. And obviously I knew I couldn't do it alone because this is something that involved like talking to government officials, which I wasn't really familiar with. And so I started interning with Mohan Foundation, which is one of India's largest organizations relating to organ donation. Mohan Foundation mentored me and helped me connect with a lot of government officials where I could present to them and explain why this was so important. And I'm hopeful that this change will soon be reflected in the driving license form soon. In summary, this crazy journey that my project has taken me on has taught me a lot of lessons. I've learned how a little bit of initiative can take you a long way in making a difference. I've learned how to navigate obstacles. I've learned the importance of teamwork. And most importantly, I realized that if you start something with a passion, the world conspires to make you meet your goals. I just want to stop here and thank Dr. Ram of Smileline Dental. He really helped me initially and helped foster a lot of my connections. And without this, I wouldn't have been able to get as many signups as I got. My goal is to make organ donation a movement. I want organ donation to become a way of life, because giving the gift of life is the biggest gift you can possibly give someone. Thank you.